Before the world wakes up, before anyone claps for you, there is a promise you made to yourself. A promise that you will not quit. A promise that you will honor your health, your strength, and your future. And every time you step into the gym, you are not just lifting weights, you are lifting that promise off the ground, rep by rep, set by set. This is bigger than muscles. This is bigger than sweat. This is about the commitment you whispered to yourself when no one else was listening. Most people break the promises they make to themselves, but not you. You can't afford to quit, because you didn't just promise yourself, you promised your future. You promised your family, you promised the vision of the person you said you would become, and the gym is the testing ground where that promise is either honored or broken. Every rep is a question, and your answer is simple. I will not quit because I promised me. When you make a promise to yourself, it becomes more than just a simple statement. It turns into a bond that defines your discipline, your integrity, and your future. In the gym, this promise is not about lifting weights or doing cardio for the sake of it. It is about holding yourself accountable to the vision you once set for your life. You told yourself you wanted to be stronger, healthier, more disciplined, and more focused. That promise was not to anyone else. It was to you. And when you treat that promise with the seriousness it deserves, you start building the foundation of a life that is unshakable. Every rep you perform is not just movement. It is a reminder that you are honoring your word. The body doesn't respond to empty words, it responds to action. The weights will always test you, the sweat will always demand a price, the struggle will always ask whether you are serious about the commitment you made. And every time you choose to push through, you are giving life to that promise. You are showing yourself that your word has value, that you are not someone who quits when things get hard. When you look around the gym, you see people at different levels of their journey. Some are beginners, some are advanced, but the difference is never about talent, it's about who honored their promise and who didn't. The ones who show up consistently, no matter how they feel, are the ones who understand that a promise to themselves must never be broken. They don't let mood swings, weather, or tiredness dictate their consistency, because they know a promise broken once becomes easier to break again. Think of it this way: if you make a promise to a friend and break it, trust is damaged. If you do it often, that trust is gone. The same happens with yourself. Each time you promise to eat right, to train, to show up, and then break it, you are teaching yourself not to trust your own words. That is why people lose confidence. They don't believe in themselves anymore, because they have a history of letting themselves down. But when you honor your word daily, your self-trust rises. You begin to believe in your own ability to finish what you start. The strongest people you admire are not stronger just because of genetics or luck. They are stronger because they never allow themselves to walk away from a promise. They know that once your word becomes meaningless to yourself, you lose the foundation of greatness. That is why every workout matters. It is not about the size of the weight. It is about proving again and again that your word means something. That you are someone who does exactly what they said they would do. A promise kept builds momentum. The first day you push through, it may feel small, but stack a week of promises kept, then a month, then a year, and suddenly your life looks completely different. Your body is transformed, your strength is elevated, your discipline is unshakable, all because you honored a promise no one else even knew about. You didn't need applause. You didn't need recognition. You needed your own respect, and that came from staying true to your word. This is why the gym is such a powerful teacher. It is not just building your chest, your arms, or your legs. It is building the type of person who can be trusted. The person who says, "I'll show up," and then shows up. The person who says, "I'll put in the work," and then works harder than expected. The person who says, "I will not quit," and then pushes even when everything in them screams to stop. The gym is where you sharpen that kind of integrity. Every time you lace up your shoes and step into the gym, you are renewing your promise. It's not about how heavy you lift today, or how fast you run, or how many sets you complete. It is about keeping the cycle alive, showing up because you said you would. That cycle builds a life of reliability, and reliability builds power. Power in the gym, power in your career, power in every decision you make. There are days when you will not want to train. Days when your mind will try to convince you that missing one session doesn't matter. But that is the test. The small promises are the ones that matter most. Because if you break the small ones, you'll eventually break the big ones. And once you allow that pattern to take root, it spreads like poison. That is why you must treat every single promise with respect, no matter how small. The beauty of this process is that it builds something inside you that no one can take away. Inner strength. Muscles can fade, trophies can be forgotten, but the ability to trust yourself, that is priceless. And it begins with one decision: to take the promises you make to yourself as seriously as if they were promises to the most important person in the world. Because in truth they are. Discipline is the true backbone of progress in the gym, because motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. When you rely only on motivation, you will find yourself stopping every time the feeling fades, but discipline carries you forward even when emotions are not on your side. It is that inner structure that keeps you aligned with your purpose, reminding you of the bigger picture when your mind wants to focus only on the present moment of struggle. Discipline teaches you that feelings are not always reliable, but commitment is, and when you put discipline above everything else, your growth becomes unstoppable. In the gym, discipline is not about doing what is easy. It is about doing what is necessary. The weights don't care how you feel, the treadmill doesn't care about your excuses, and your body doesn't respond to half-hearted effort. Discipline is what pushes you to complete the last set even when your muscles are burning, to eat the right food even when unhealthy choices are more appealing, and to get proper rest even when distractions tempt you to stay awake. It builds a mindset where excuses no longer hold power because you learn to prioritize what matters over what feels convenient. Discipline also creates structure, and structure eliminates confusion. Many people walk into the gym without a plan, and because they lack structure, they lack results. But discipline helps you stick to a routine, to follow a program, to record your progress, and to avoid wasting time. This level of order is what separates those who wander in circles from those who make measurable gains. When your actions are guided by discipline, you no longer rely on chance. You rely on a proven system that delivers results over time. Discipline sharpens your consistency. Progress in fitness is built on repetition, not randomness. You cannot grow stronger by training only when you feel like it. You grow stronger by training consistently, day after day, week after week. Discipline makes you show up even on the hard days, because you know every session contributes to your long-term vision. Without discipline, your journey is full of starts and stops. But with discipline, your momentum never breaks, and that momentum is the key to transformation. Another thing discipline does is teach you patience. In a world where people want fast results, Discipline reminds you that true progress takes time. It stops you from chasing shortcuts or unhealthy methods that harm you in the long run. Instead, it keeps you steady, pushing you to trust the process and put in the daily work. Patience fueled by discipline ensures that you stay the course even when results are not instantly visible, because you understand that every effort is compounding behind the scenes. Discipline also builds self-control. When you are disciplined, you learn to say no to temptations that derail your progress. Whether it is skipping a workout, indulging in unhealthy food, or wasting time that could be used for recovery, discipline gives you the strength to resist. That self-control doesn't just stay in the gym, it spills into other areas of your life, shaping you into a person who makes better decisions in business, relationships, and personal growth. Discipline makes you master your actions instead of being a slave to impulses. The gym teaches you discipline through repetition and challenge. Every time you push through a tough workout, you are strengthening not just your muscles but your ability to endure hardship. Discipline is forged in those moments when everything in you wants to stop, but you keep going. Over time, that ability to endure becomes second nature, and you start applying it beyond fitness. Life's challenges no longer overwhelm you as easily because you have trained your mind and body to face discomfort and keep moving forward. Discipline creates resilience. There will be setbacks in your journey, an injury, a missed session, or a slower pace of progress than expected. Without discipline, setbacks turn into excuses to quit. With discipline, setbacks turn into lessons and fuel for improvement. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start viewing them as part of the journey. This resilience ensures that no matter how many times you stumble, you always rise again stronger than before. Discipline demands sacrifice, and sacrifice builds character. To achieve fitness goals, you may have to sacrifice comfort, leisure, or unhealthy habits. But each sacrifice is proof that you are serious about your vision. These sacrifices might feel heavy in the moment, but discipline helps you endure them because you know they are leading you towards something greater. The more you embrace sacrifice through discipline, the more unshakable your character becomes, and that strength is worth more than any temporary comfort you gave up. Ultimately, discipline is the silent force working behind every success story in fitness. It doesn't shout, it doesn't boast, but it shows up in the form of steady progress, visible transformation, and unbreakable determination. It builds habits that last, mindsets that endure, and a body that reflects hard work over time. Without discipline, the gym becomes a cycle of wasted effort. But with discipline, every drop of sweat counts, every repetition matters, and every session adds to the foundation of greatness. Consistency is what transforms small efforts into massive results over time, and in the gym, it is the single most powerful habit you can develop. Many people start strong, filled with energy and excitement, but they burn out quickly because they never build consistency. Showing up on the good days is easy, but showing up on the hard days is where consistency truly matters. It is about proving to yourself that no matter how you feel, you will honor the commitment you made to your body and your health. When you are consistent, you don't have to restart over and over again. Each workout builds on the one before it, and your progress compounds like interest. Muscles grow not from one session, but from repeated stress and recovery over weeks and months. Strength doesn't appear overnight. It is the outcome of countless sets, countless reps, and countless hours invested. Consistency ensures that your hard work doesn't fade away, but instead stacks up to create long-term transformation. Consistency is also what makes fitness a lifestyle rather than a temporary phase. A person who works out for a month and then quits will always remain stuck, but someone who trains consistently for a year will see undeniable change. The difference is not talent, not luck, not even motivation. It is consistency. When you weave the gym into your daily routine the same way you eat, sleep, and breathe, it becomes a natural part of who you are rather than something you force yourself to do. Every small choice adds up when you are consistent. Choosing to push through when you are tired, choosing to eat the right food when you crave junk, choosing to stretch when you could skip it. All these little decisions form the foundation of your progress. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about repetition. Even if you stumble, what matters is that you keep coming back, day after day, without allowing temporary mistakes to break your rhythm. Consistency builds mental toughness because it teaches you that progress is not about instant gratification. In a world obsessed with quick results, consistency reminds you that greatness is earned slowly, brick by brick. You might not see a difference in the mirror after 1 week, but after 6 months of consistent effort, the difference becomes undeniable. This delayed reward strengthens your patience and conditions your mind to value persistence over quick fixes. Consistency also removes the pressure of relying on motivation. Motivation is unpredictable. It comes and goes with your mood, your environment, or your circumstances. If you depend only on motivation, you will only train when it feels convenient. But when you build consistency, you train regardless of how you feel, because you no longer need to think about whether you should or shouldn't. It becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth. You don't wait for motivation to appear, you rely on consistency to carry you through. The beauty of consistency is that it magnifies even the smallest effort. A mediocre workout done consistently will produce more results than an excellent workout done only once a month. The body adapts to what it repeatedly experiences, not what it experiences occasionally. By showing up again and again, you force growth, you force strength, and you force transformation. Consistency doesn't care if today's effort feels small, because it knows tomorrow's effort will stack on top of it. Consistency also builds trust within yourself. When you say you will train and then you actually do it, you prove to yourself that your word means something. Every time you follow through, you reinforce your own self-belief. Over time, this trust spreads into other areas of your life. You start believing you can achieve your career goals, your personal goals, your dreams, because you have evidence that you can stick to a plan. That self-trust is priceless, and consistency is how you build it. Consistency separates those who dream from those who achieve. Everyone wants to look strong, feel healthy, and live with confidence, but only those who consistently put in the work get to experience it. Wanting results is easy, but earning them requires discipline repeated over time. The gym rewards the consistent, not the occasional, because progress doesn't care about excuses. It only responds to repeated effort. Consistency is also the bridge between your current self and the stronger version of you that you imagine in your mind. The gap will never close in one giant leap. It closes one day at a time, one workout at a time, one rep at a time. By being consistent, you move closer and closer to the version of yourself you promised to become, and that journey is built not on intensity alone, but on the steady rhythm of showing up no matter what. Got it? Thumbs up. Let's move straight into ***. Key point 4, expansion *** in the same style. Progress in the gym is never about rushing. It is about patience and steady improvement. Too many people step into the gym expecting instant transformation, but the truth is that your body is not built in a week or even a month. It takes time for muscles to adapt, for strength to grow, and for your body to reflect the work you put in. When you understand this reality, you stop chasing shortcuts and start embracing the process, because true results require time, patience, and persistence. Every rep you perform today might feel small, but it is a brick laid in the foundation of your future body. Just like a building is not constructed overnight, your strength and physique are the result of consistent effort applied over long stretches of time. The weight you lift today is simply preparing you to lift heavier tomorrow, and the patience you show in repeating this cycle is what transforms you into someone unrecognizable months or years down the road. Impatience often destroys potential. Many people quit just before their breakthrough because they cannot see the results fast enough. They abandon the process in frustration, thinking it doesn't work, when in reality the progress was happening beneath the surface. Muscles were repairing, habits were forming, and strength was growing slowly, but because they lacked patience, they robbed themselves of the reward waiting just ahead. Patience teaches you to appreciate small victories. Adding 5 pounds to the bar might not seem like much, but when done consistently over time, it transforms your entire physique. Enduring a difficult workout when you don't feel like training might feel minor in the moment, but it builds the resilience you'll need to continue when the journey gets tougher. By valuing these small steps, you learn to see the bigger picture of growth that only patience reveals. Patience is also connected deeply with discipline. Anyone can work hard for a short burst of time, but only those who are patient enough to endure the slow grind of progress can maintain discipline long enough to achieve real results. The patient lifter knows that the gym is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and the one who paces himself with steady determination will always outlast the one who burns out chasing fast results. When you accept that progress takes time, you free yourself from frustration. Instead of comparing yourself to others who may be ahead, you stay focused on your own path, knowing that your journey is unique. This patience removes the toxic pressure of instant comparison and allows you to celebrate your own growth, no matter how slow it feels. It keeps your eyes on your own progress rather than being distracted by someone else's timeline. Patience also conditions your mind to value the process as much as the outcome. When you are patient, you begin to enjoy the training itself, the sweat, the struggle, the challenge, rather than only looking forward to the end result. This mindset shift is powerful because it keeps you motivated to show up daily. You stop chasing a finish line and start embracing the journey, and that is where true mastery is found. Every great athlete, every successful person in fitness, has one thing in common: patience. Behind their strength, their physique, their success are years of unseen work, years of consistent effort, years of enduring when results seemed distant. They did not become strong overnight. They built themselves rep by rep, year after year, with a quiet patience that most people are unwilling to practice. Patience also guards you against injury and burnout. When you rush the process, you push beyond what your body is ready for, risking setbacks that could take months to recover from. But when you move with patience, increasing your load gradually and respecting your limits, you build strength that lasts. Slow, steady growth might feel less exciting in the moment, but it guarantees a stronger foundation for long-term progress. Patience transforms your perspective not just in the gym, but in life. The ability to wait, to endure, and to trust the process spreads into your career, your relationships, and your goals. When you train your body with patience, you also train your mind to resist the culture of instant gratification. You become someone who is not shaken by delays because you understand that anything worth having requires time, effort, and unwavering patience. Focus is the weapon that separates those who achieve greatness from those who get distracted and give up too soon. When you enter the gym, your mind should be locked in on the task at hand. Too often, people waste their energy scrolling on their phones, chatting endlessly, or letting their thoughts wander, and then they wonder why their results are so slow. Focus means cutting out the noise and channeling every ounce of your attention into each rep, each set, each movement. Without focus, even the hardest workout loses its power because your energy is scattered rather than directed. When you focus, you turn ordinary actions into extraordinary results. A simple squat becomes a tool to build unstoppable legs. A push-up becomes a step toward a stronger chest, and a deadlift becomes the foundation for total power. The movement itself is not what creates the transformation. It is the intensity of focus you apply to that movement. Focus magnifies effort, and when you lock your mind onto the muscle you are training, you push deeper, hold longer, and squeeze harder, extracting more value out of every single rep. Focus also saves you from wasted time. There are countless people who spend years going to the gym but never change, not because they lack effort, but because they lack focus. They chase too many programs, switch routines every other week, and follow trends instead of sticking to a plan. Focus means choosing a goal and committing to it without letting yourself get distracted by the noise around you. The body responds to consistency and direction, not confusion and chaos, and focus is what ensures your energy is aligned with your purpose. Distractions are the enemy of progress. In the gym, distractions don't just cost you time, they cost you results. Losing focus during a set means missing out on the intensity needed to trigger growth. Allowing your mind to drift means your form slips, your effort decreases, and your progress slows. Focus is not just about physical effort, it is about mental presence. The more present you are in your training, the more your body responds, and the more you separate yourself from those who are simply going through the motions. Focus is also what allows you to connect the gym with your larger goals in life. Training isn't just about lifting weights, it's about building discipline that transfers into wealth, success, and character. When you train with focus, you are practicing the same skill you'll need in your career, in your business, and in your personal goals. The ability to shut out distractions and give your full energy to what matters most. Focus in the gym trains your mind to focus in life. And this connection is what creates growth beyond just muscle. When your focus is strong, you stop chasing instant gratification and start chasing mastery. Instead of lifting for attention or validation, you lift to improve yourself. You begin to track your progress, to refine your form, to challenge your limits with precision. Focus keeps you grounded in the process rather than distracted by the illusion of quick results. It makes you patient, intentional, and deliberate, which are the exact qualities needed to achieve lasting transformation. A focused mind creates a focused body. When you visualize your goals while training, your body begins to respond to the image you hold in your head. Focus directs your energy where it needs to go, aligning your effort with your vision. You might feel pain in the moment, but with focus, that pain becomes fuel because you know exactly why you are enduring it. Without focus, pain feels meaningless. With focus, pain becomes purpose. Focus also builds resilience because it teaches you how to remain locked in even when distractions try to pull you away. There will always be noise, people talking, challenges in life, thoughts of quitting, but focus acts like a shield. When you sharpen your focus, you become immune to the distractions that stop others. You build the ability to keep pushing forward even when the world is full of reasons to stop, and that mental strength becomes a weapon you can use anywhere in life. Focus is what brings intensity into your training. Anyone can go through the motions, but when you give each set your undivided attention, you tap into a level of effort that others cannot match. Focused effort burns deeper, forces more growth, and unlocks hidden strength that only comes when the mind and body are fully united. That intensity doesn't require more time. It requires more presence, and presence is born from focus. The truth is, focus is rare in a world built on distraction. Most people allow their attention to scatter, and as a result, they live with scattered results. But those who cultivate focus in the gym build a weapon that gives them an edge in every area of life. They don't just train harder, they train smarter. They don't just wish for progress, they direct every ounce of their attention toward it until it becomes reality. Focus is the silent force that takes ordinary effort and transforms it into extraordinary results. Discipline is the backbone of transformation, both in the gym and in life. Without discipline, motivation fades, focus wavers, and progress stalls. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when the excitement is gone, when the weights feel heavy, and when excuses start knocking on your mind. It is not about doing what you want when it feels good. It is about doing what is necessary whether you feel like it or not. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates results, which is why it is the foundation of both physical strength and financial success. Discipline is what gets you up early in the morning when comfort whispers for more sleep. It is what pushes you into the gym even when your body feels sore or your mind feels tired. Discipline doesn't ask if you are in the mood. It demands obedience to the commitment you made to yourself. The world is full of people who start strong but quit when it gets hard, and the difference between them and the ones who succeed is not talent but discipline. Talent may shine for a moment, but discipline lasts for a lifetime. Every rep in the gym is a test of discipline. It is easy to stop when it burns, to drop the weight when your muscles shake, or to cut your sets short when nobody is watching. But discipline makes you finish what you started. It makes you add that extra rep, hold that position a few seconds longer, and push when your mind screams to quit. Discipline builds not just muscle but character, because it forces you to do the uncomfortable things that lead to real growth. Discipline also governs your choices outside the gym. Progress is not only made by lifting weights, but by how you eat, how you rest, and how you manage your time. Discipline means saying no to junk food when temptation calls, shutting down distractions when you need to recover, and prioritizing your training over meaningless activities. Every choice you make outside the gym is either fueling your progress or feeding your setbacks, and discipline ensures you make the right choices consistently. Discipline is not about perfection, but about persistence. You will stumble at times, you may miss a workout, you may slip on your diet, you may feel lazy some days, but discipline makes sure those setbacks don't turn into patterns. Discipline tells you to get back up, to return to your plan, and to keep moving forward. The disciplined person is not the one who never fails, but the one who never allows failure to define them. Discipline builds trust with yourself. When you say you are going to do something and then you actually do it, you strengthen the belief that your word matters. Over time, you stop doubting yourself because you have proof that you can follow through on your promises. This self-trust is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is what empowers you to set bigger goals and chase them without hesitation. Discipline builds a cycle of belief, and belief builds results. In the gym, discipline shows in the small details: the way you keep your form strict even when you are tired, the way you complete your program without skipping the hard exercises, the way you track your progress to stay accountable. These little acts of discipline may not seem important in the moment, but over time they separate the average from the exceptional. Discipline compounds, and every act of discipline today becomes the foundation for a stronger tomorrow. Discipline is also what bridges the gap between your short-term feelings and your long-term goals. Feelings change every day. You may feel lazy, distracted, unmotivated, but your goals remain constant. Discipline is what keeps you aligned with your goals regardless of how you feel in the moment. Without discipline, feelings will control your actions, but with discipline, your vision controls your actions, and that is the path to true success. Discipline teaches you to value patience and delayed gratification. The results you want: bigger muscles, more strength, better health, financial growth, do not appear overnight. They require consistent effort, and the ability to delay gratification is only built through discipline. When you learn to sacrifice comfort today for results tomorrow, you are practicing a principle that not only builds your body but also builds your wealth, because success in any field requires discipline to think long term. Discipline is what makes your journey unshakable. Motivation can be stolen by a bad day, excitement can fade when progress slows, and energy can drain when life gets tough. But discipline cannot be stolen, it cannot be weakened, and it cannot be defeated unless you allow it. Discipline is a decision, a choice you make every day to rise above weakness, to rise above excuses, and to rise above the average mindset. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded when the storm hits, and the engine that keeps driving you forward no matter the circumstances. Consistency is the quiet force that transforms effort into achievement. It is not the one workout that changes your body, nor the one day of clean eating that defines your health. It is the repeated action, done again and again, that creates lasting transformation. Consistency may not always feel exciting, but it is the most powerful habit you can build, because it compounds over time. Every workout you complete, every healthy meal you choose, every moment you dedicate to your growth adds up, stacking like bricks to build the structure of your success. Consistency is not about being perfect. It is about showing up even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when your energy is low, when your schedule is packed, when your body feels heavy, and your mind is full of doubt. Consistency means you still show up and do what needs to be done. It may not always be your best performance, but showing up keeps your momentum alive. It is better to give 50% on a hard day than to give nothing at all, because small efforts done consistently still move you forward. The body responds to consistency with growth and adaptation. Muscles don't get stronger from occasional effort. They respond to repeated stress over time. If you train 1 week and then skip the next 2, your body has no reason to adapt. But when you show up regularly, even with moderate intensity, your body understands that it must become stronger, leaner, and more resilient to meet the demands you place on it. Consistency teaches your body discipline in the same way it teaches your mind. Consistency also builds habits that run on autopilot. In the beginning, you may need to push yourself to get up and train, to resist unhealthy choices, to manage your time. But when you repeat these actions day after day, they become part of who you are. The gym is no longer something you have to force yourself to do. It becomes part of your routine, as natural as eating or sleeping. That is the true power of consistency. It turns effort into lifestyle. Consistency protects you from the trap of starting over. Many people quit after a few weeks, then come back months later to start again. Each time, they feel like beginners because they never built momentum. But when you stay consistent, you never lose what you have worked so hard for. Even if progress feels slow, it is still progress, and it keeps you from slipping backward. Consistency keeps the path open so you don't waste time restarting over and over. Consistency is also a reflection of your commitment to your goals. Anyone can start with excitement, but few continue with discipline. Consistency proves that you are serious about your journey, not just entertained by the idea of success. It is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. People who build extraordinary bodies, strong health, and financial success are not necessarily the most talented or gifted. They are simply the most consistent. Consistency removes the need for motivation. When you rely on motivation alone, you will succeed only when you feel inspired. But when you build consistency, you act regardless of how you feel. You don't need to debate whether to train. You train because it is part of your identity. You don't question whether to follow your nutrition. You follow it because consistency has made it a normal part of your life. By removing the debate, consistency frees your mind from excuses. Consistency shows up in the small details as much as in the big actions. It is not only about completing a workout plan, but also about warming up properly every time, maintaining good form rep after rep, tracking your progress without skipping, and staying patient with your journey. These small, consistent actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but together they create the foundation of excellence. Big achievements are nothing more than the result of small actions done consistently. Consistency also builds resilience against setbacks. Life will throw challenges at you: injuries, busy schedules, unexpected problems. But when consistency is part of your character, you learn how to adapt instead of quitting. Maybe you cannot train at full intensity, but you still do what you can. Maybe you don't have access to your usual routine, but you stay active in another way. Consistency teaches you that progress is not about being perfect. It is about staying on the path no matter what. Consistency is the bridge between vision and reality. Many people have visions of a stronger body, better health, or greater success, but those visions stay locked in their minds because they lack consistent action. Consistency is what turns an idea into a result, what takes a dream and makes it visible in the real world. It is not glamorous, and it is not always exciting, but it is always effective. The ones who achieve the most are rarely the ones who did the most in one day. They are the ones who did the right things every day without fail. Discipline is what gives consistency its backbone, and without discipline, even the strongest intentions collapse. Discipline is not about feeling like doing the work. It is about doing the work whether you feel like it or not. In the gym, discipline is the force that gets you out of bed early, the force that pushes you through the last painful rep, the force that reminds you of your commitment when distractions tempt you away. Discipline transforms a promise into a reality by ensuring you follow through with action instead of relying on fleeting emotions. Discipline begins in the mind long before it shows in the body. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the way you look and feel. If your mind is undisciplined, your actions will be scattered and inconsistent, and your results will reflect that lack of structure. But when you train your mind with discipline by setting rules for yourself and honoring them, you create order that spills into every other part of your fitness journey. A disciplined mind produces a disciplined body. Discipline in the gym means committing to a plan and not abandoning it halfway. Many people design routines and diets, but as soon as they get bored or the results don't appear instantly, they quit. Discipline means you stay the course, trusting the process even when the progress feels invisible. You know that results are built over months, not days, and your discipline allows you to endure the waiting. This ability to stay patient and steady is what separates those who quit from those who transform. Discipline is also what allows you to control the small but powerful choices that determine your success. It is easy to skip stretching, to cut a workout short, or to eat something unhealthy because it is convenient. Each of these choices feels small in the moment, but they add up quickly and pull you off track. Discipline makes you strong enough to say no to shortcuts and yes to what supports your goals. It is not about denying yourself everything. It is about controlling yourself enough to stay aligned with what you truly want. Discipline brings structure into your daily life, and structure creates freedom. People often think discipline is restrictive, but in reality, it gives you control over your time and your habits. When you set a time to train, a time to eat, and a time to rest, you no longer waste energy wondering when or if you will do those things. The structure removes confusion and excuses, and it frees your mind to focus on growth. This kind of organized discipline is what keeps you moving forward when others are stuck in hesitation. Discipline also teaches you to push beyond your comfort zone. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. It happens in the moments when your muscles burn, your lungs ache, and your mind tells you to stop. Discipline silences the voice of comfort and replaces it with the voice of strength. It tells you to finish the set, to complete the run, to keep going for one more rep. Each time you push past the point of comfort, you expand your capacity, and discipline is the driver of that expansion. Discipline builds trust in yourself just as much as consistency does. Every time you make a promise to yourself and keep it, you prove to your own mind that your word matters. Over time, this builds a deep level of self-respect because you no longer see yourself as someone who quits or gives up. You see yourself as someone who follows through, and that identity is powerful. Discipline strengthens not just your body but your character, giving you confidence that extends beyond the gym. Discipline shields you from the ups and downs of emotion. There will be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, but discipline keeps you steady. Instead of being tossed around by feelings, you anchor yourself in principles. You train because it is what you committed to, not because you feel like it. You eat clean because it is what your body needs, not because it is easy. Discipline removes the instability of mood and replaces it with the stability of action. Discipline in fitness also prepares you for discipline in life. The same ability you use to control your diet, stick to your workouts, and manage your time can be applied to your career, your relationships, and your goals outside the gym. The habits you build with discipline ripple outward, making you stronger in every area. A disciplined person can withstand challenges that would break others because they have already trained themselves to do what is hard instead of what is easy. Discipline is the invisible weight you carry every day, heavier than the dumbbells in your hands, but it is the weight that strengthens every part of you. It demands sacrifice, it demands patience, and it demands effort. But those demands shape you into someone powerful, someone unshakable, someone capable of achieving far more than they once believed. The body you want, the strength you dream of, the health you crave, all of it begins and ends with discipline. Discipline is what gives consistency its backbone and without discipline, even the strongest intentions collapse. Discipline is not about feeling like doing the work. It is about doing the work, whether you feel like it or not. In the gym, discipline is the force that gets you out of bed early, the force that pushes you through the last painful rep, the force that reminds you of your commitment when distractions tempt you away. Discipline transforms a promise into a reality by ensuring you follow through with action instead of relying on fleeting emotions. Discipline begins in the mind long before it shows in the body. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the way you look and feel. If your mind is undisciplined, your actions will be scattered and inconsistent, and your results will reflect that lack of structure. But when you train your mind with discipline by setting rules for yourself and honoring them, you create order that spills into every other part of your fitness journey. A disciplined mind produces a disciplined body. Discipline in the gym means committing to a plan and not abandoning it halfway. Many people design routines and diets, but as soon as they get bored or the results don't appear instantly, they quit. Discipline means you stay the course, trusting the process even when the progress feels invisible. You know that results are built over months, not days, and your discipline allows you to endure the waiting. This ability to stay patient and steady is what separates those who quit from those who transform. Discipline is also what allows you to control the small but powerful choices that determine your success. It is easy to skip stretching, to cut a workout short, or to eat something unhealthy because it is convenient. Each of these choices feels small in the moment, but they add up quickly and pull you off track. Discipline makes you strong enough to say no to shortcuts and yes to what supports your goals. It is not about denying yourself everything. It is about controlling yourself enough to stay aligned with what you truly want. Discipline brings structure into your daily life, and structure creates freedom. People often think discipline is restrictive, but in reality, it gives you control over your time and your habits. When you set a time to train, a time to eat, and a time to rest, you no longer waste energy wondering when or if you will do those things. The structure removes confusion and excuses, and it frees your mind to focus on growth. This kind of organized discipline is what keeps you moving forward when others are stuck in hesitation. Discipline also teaches you to push beyond your comfort zone. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. It happens in the moments when your muscles burn, your lungs ache, and your mind tells you to stop. Discipline silences the voice of comfort and replaces it with the voice of strength. It tells you to finish the set, to complete the run, to keep going for one more rep. Each time you push past the point of comfort, you expand your capacity, and discipline is the driver of that expansion. Discipline builds trust in yourself just as much as consistency does. Every time you make a promise to yourself and keep it, you prove to your own mind that your word matters. Over time, this builds a deep level of self-respect because you no longer see yourself as someone who quits or gives up. You see yourself as someone who follows through, and that identity is powerful. Discipline strengthens not just your body but your character, giving you confidence that extends beyond the gym. Discipline shields you from the ups and downs of emotion. There will be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, but discipline keeps you steady. Instead of being tossed around by feelings, you anchor yourself in principles. You train because it is what you committed to, not because you feel like it. You eat clean because it is what your body needs, not because it is easy. Discipline removes the instability of mood and replaces it with the stability of action. Discipline in fitness also prepares you for discipline in life. The same ability you use to control your diet, Stick to your workouts, and manage your time can be applied to your career, your relationships, and your goals outside the gym. The habits you build with discipline ripple outward, making you stronger in every area. A disciplined person can withstand challenges that would break others, because they have already trained themselves to do what is hard instead of what is easy. Discipline is the invisible weight you carry every day, heavier than the dumbbells in your hands, but it is the weight that strengthens every part of you. It demands sacrifice, it demands patience, and it demands effort, but those demands shape you into someone powerful, someone unshakable, someone capable of achieving far more than they once believed. The body you want, the strength you dream of, the health you crave. All of it begins and ends with discipline. Progress in the gym is not measured only by the weight you lift, but also by the patience you show while waiting for the results to appear. Too many people rush the process, expecting change in days when real transformation takes weeks, months, and sometimes years. Patience is the invisible strength that holds you steady when the mirror shows little difference, when the scale barely moves, and when your body feels the same. It is this ability to wait with discipline that separates those who reach their goals from those who abandon them too soon. Patience teaches you that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. Just because your muscles don't show definition after a week of training doesn't mean your body isn't adapting. Beneath the surface, fibers are repairing, strength is building, endurance is forming, and habits are solidifying. Every rep and every set is creating a foundation, and patience is what allows you to trust in that unseen process instead of giving up, because the visible change isn't immediate. When you practice patience, you remove the pressure of expecting instant gratification. Modern life teaches people to crave quick results, fast food, fast entertainment, fast rewards. But the body does not work on shortcuts. It thrives on gradual progress. Patience reminds you that nothing valuable is built overnight. Just like a tree takes time to grow roots before it breaks through the ground, your body needs time to build strength before the results show. The roots of progress are slow, but they are unshakable when patience is present. Patience also trains your mind to stay steady through the ups and downs of the journey. Some days you will feel strong and full of energy, and other days you may feel weak and drained. Without patience, you might judge yourself harshly on the weaker days and feel tempted to quit. But with patience, you understand that one bad day does not erase your efforts. You learn to see the bigger picture, realizing that success comes from the accumulation of many days, not the perfection of every single one. Patience creates freedom in your training because it allows you to focus on the process rather than obsess over the outcome. Instead of constantly checking the mirror or the scale, you learn to value the discipline of showing up, the satisfaction of completing a tough workout, and the inner strength you develop by staying consistent. When you enjoy the process, the results become a natural byproduct rather than an obsession, and patience is what makes this mindset possible. Patience is also what makes setbacks survivable. Injury, sickness, or even personal struggles can slow you down, but patience helps you endure those pauses without giving up completely. Instead of rushing back too fast or abandoning your goals, patience teaches you to respect the pace of recovery and trust that the journey continues. With patience, a setback becomes just a small pause rather than the end of your progress. Patience sharpens your discipline in nutrition as well. Sticking to a healthy diet requires waiting for results that do not show immediately. You might eat clean for weeks and still not see dramatic changes, but patience assures you that your body is adjusting internally, your energy is improving, your digestion is becoming stronger, and your metabolism is adapting. Without patience, you may give in to cravings and undo your progress, but with patience, you hold steady and trust the process. Patience also builds mental toughness because it requires resisting frustration. Many people lose focus not because they lack strength, but because they cannot tolerate waiting. Patience trains you to endure that uncomfortable waiting period, teaching you that success is not denied, only delayed. Every time you stay patient through slow progress, you strengthen your resilience and make it harder for challenges to shake you. Patience makes your results more meaningful because you know how long you worked for them. If transformation came quickly, you would not value it as deeply. But when it takes months of dedication, years of effort, and countless hours of work, the results carry a weight of pride that cannot be replaced. Patience adds value to your achievements, making the journey itself as rewarding as the destination. Patience is the bridge that connects effort to reward. You lift today, but the strength comes later. You eat healthy today, but the body responds later. You stay disciplined today, but the results arrive later. Without patience, you will break the bridge before you reach the other side. With patience, you keep walking steadily until the reward finally meets you. It is not about waiting passively. It is about waiting actively, with trust and persistence, knowing that every step is taking you closer to the person you promised to become. Discipline is the force that carries you forward when everything inside you wants to stop. In the gym, discipline means sticking to the plan you created, even when you are tired, even when the weather is bad, even when your mood convinces you that skipping won't matter. It is the invisible hand that pulls you out of bed early in the morning and pushes you under the weights when your body resists. Discipline is not about what you feel in the moment. It is about what you decided long before the moment arrived. And it is that unshakable decision that creates transformation. When you rely only on motivation, you will always be inconsistent because motivation is fragile. Some days you feel inspired, but other days you feel drained and unmotivated. Discipline does not depend on feelings, it depends on principles. It teaches you that the workout must be done regardless of whether you feel like doing it. Discipline silences the excuses in your mind and reminds you that progress comes from action, not intention. Discipline is what makes you keep going when the results are not yet visible. In the early stages, the mirror may look the same, the scale may not move, and your strength might feel stuck. Without discipline, you will abandon the journey too soon. But with discipline, you continue to show up, knowing that unseen changes are happening in your muscles, your strength, and your endurance. Discipline is the voice inside you that says, "Stay the course, the results are coming." Discipline also teaches you to manage your time with seriousness. You cannot expect growth if you treat your training as something optional or random. Discipline forces you to carve out time for your workouts, to prioritize them above distractions, and to protect them as appointments with yourself. Through this practice, you begin to respect your own time and treat your goals with the importance they deserve. Discipline stretches far beyond the gym floor. It extends to the way you eat, sleep, and recover. You can train hard, but if you are careless with your nutrition or skip your rest, your progress will slow. Discipline means choosing the meal that fuels your growth over the one that satisfies your craving. Discipline means going to bed early instead of wasting hours on meaningless distractions. Discipline means treating recovery as a part of training rather than something optional. Discipline transforms you because it replaces weakness with strength in every area of your life. Once you master discipline in the gym, you notice it spilling over into your work, your studies, your responsibilities, and your relationships. You become the person who follows through, who stays committed, who finishes what they start. The gym becomes more than a place for lifting weight. It becomes a training ground for discipline that shapes your entire character. Discipline is also what helps you resist the temptation of shortcuts. Many people look for quick fixes, miracle supplements, or overnight transformations, but discipline knows that the only true path is hard work repeated consistently. Discipline keeps you rooted in the process, reminding you that shortcuts may offer quick results, but they will never last. With discipline, you accept the long road because you know it builds a foundation that cannot be shaken. Discipline forces you to hold yourself accountable. No one else can lift the weights for you. No one else can push your body through the pain. No one else can build your strength. Discipline means taking full responsibility for your growth, refusing to blame circumstances, and refusing to rely on luck. It is the constant reminder that your body is your responsibility, and your results will always reflect your discipline. Discipline is what allows you to win the battle with your mind. The mind will always whisper reasons to quit, to rest, to give less effort, but discipline speaks louder. Discipline takes control of your thoughts and directs your actions, teaching you that the body will follow where the mind leads. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you grow stronger mentally, and that strength becomes the foundation of everything else you achieve. Discipline is not a punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from the control of laziness, from the pull of excuses, and from the trap of inconsistency. Discipline gives you control over your actions, your body, and your future. When you are disciplined, you no longer wait for the right mood, the right moment, or the right conditions. You create progress through your decisions. Discipline may feel heavy in the moment, but it is the weight that builds greatness, and in the gym, it is the force that shapes your body and your destiny. Sacrifice is the hidden cost behind every strong body, every powerful lift, and every lasting transformation. To achieve real progress in the gym, you cannot hold on to every comfort and distraction. You must be willing to let go of what slows you down. Sacrifice means choosing discipline over indulgence, consistency over laziness, and long-term growth over temporary pleasure. Every rep you push through when you would rather stop is a form of sacrifice, and those sacrifices compound into results that cannot be bought or faked. Sacrifice is about giving up the excuses that have kept you stuck. It is easy to say you're too tired, too busy, or too stressed to train, but sacrifice demands that you strip away those excuses and face the truth. That growth only comes when you're willing to put in the work no matter what. By sacrificing excuses, you create space for effort, and effort is the only currency the body understands. Sacrifice also shows up in how you manage your time. Instead of wasting hours scrolling through your phone or watching meaningless entertainment, sacrifice pushes you to invest that time into training, meal preparation, recovery, or learning more about fitness. Every hour redirected toward your goals is a sacrifice that separates you from the average person. And over time, those hours build a physique, a mindset, and a lifestyle that others can only admire. Sacrifice extends to the foods you eat and the habits you practice outside the gym. It is easy to give in to junk food, to late nights, to unhealthy routines, but sacrifice demands that you rise above convenience. Choosing the meal that nourishes your muscles over the one that satisfies your craving is a sacrifice. Going to bed early instead of wasting time is a sacrifice. Drinking water when others are reaching for sugar is a sacrifice. These decisions may seem small in the moment, but together they define the body and health you build. Sacrifice also means embracing discomfort willingly. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens in the burning muscles, in the heavy weights, in the moments when your mind screams for relief, but you keep pushing. Each time you accept the discomfort instead of avoiding it, you make a sacrifice. That sacrifice teaches you resilience, because you prove to yourself that you can endure hardship for the sake of something greater. Sacrifice builds mental strength because it constantly forces you to prioritize what matters most. You cannot achieve greatness without giving up something. Whether it is sleep, entertainment, comfort, or laziness, something must be left behind so that progress can move forward. Sacrifice clears away the distractions and reminds you that your goals deserve your full attention, not your leftover energy. Sacrifice also teaches patience. In a world where people want instant results, sacrifice reminds you that the journey is long and requires steady commitment. It means giving up the desire for quick gratification and accepting that real transformation takes months and years. Sacrifice conditions your mind to focus not on what you can have today, but on what you will gain tomorrow. And that perspective builds unstoppable endurance. Sacrifice shows you who truly wants success and who only talks about it. Many people say they want to be stronger, healthier, or wealthier, but few are willing to sacrifice sleep, comfort, or indulgence to get there. Sacrifice is the dividing line between the dreamers and the doers. When you are willing to sacrifice consistently, you prove to yourself and to the world that your commitment is real. Sacrifice also creates appreciation. When you give up temporary pleasures for lasting growth, you value your results more deeply because you know what it cost you to achieve them. Every pound lifted, every inch gained, every bit of progress is a reminder of the sacrifices you made along the way. This appreciation strengthens your resolve, because you are less likely to throw away what you worked so hard to earn. Sacrifice is not about loss, it is about trade. You trade comfort for strength, laziness for progress, excuses for results. The sacrifices you make today are the seeds you plant for the body, the health, and the mindset you want tomorrow. In the gym and in life, nothing great is achieved without sacrifice, and those who understand this principle become unshakable, because they are willing to give up what is temporary in order to gain what is permanent. Legacy is built in the quiet hours when no one is watching, in the sweat dripping from your forehead, in the discipline that no one applauds, and in the commitment you honor even when it hurts. Every rep, every lift, every choice to keep going writes a line in the story of who you are becoming. Legacy is not just about the body you build. It is about the strength of character, the resilience, and the standard you set for yourself and for those who look up to you. When you push through pain in the gym, you are not only shaping your muscles, you are shaping the story of your life. Legacy is about the example you leave behind, the way you carry yourself, the way you train, the way you approach your goals becomes a silent lesson for others. People may never hear your words, but they will see your consistency, your effort, and your determination. A legacy is not spoken, it is lived, and the gym gives you the perfect stage to demonstrate what it means to stay committed in the face of struggle. Legacy is also about the respect you earn, not the applause you chase. Respect comes when people see the sacrifices you make and the discipline you uphold. It comes when they see that you don't just talk about hard work, but you live it. The weights don't care about excuses, and neither does your legacy. It is carved out of what you do repeatedly, not what you say occasionally. That is why every training session is an opportunity to solidify the reputation you want to leave behind. Legacy is built when you choose growth over comfort. It is easy to take the easy way out, to quit when the pain rises, or to avoid the challenges that stretch you. But when you rise above comfort and embrace the grind, you set a standard that will outlast you. People will remember not that you had it easy, but that you endured and kept moving forward no matter what was stacked against you. That kind of strength becomes part of your identity, and your legacy is written in how you handle resistance. Legacy is also about what you give to others. When you build strength, discipline, and resilience, you carry those lessons beyond the gym and into the lives of the people around you. Your family, your friends, and even strangers can be inspired by the way you live. The consistency you build in the gym can inspire someone else to be consistent in their own goals. The discipline you show in your training can motivate others to raise their standards. Legacy multiplies because your actions influence others far more than your words ever will. Legacy demands that you stay true to the promises you made to yourself. It is easy to break a promise when no one else knows about it, but legacy is built when you keep those promises anyway. Every time you honor your commitment to show up and train, you add another brick to the structure of your legacy. Over time, those small acts of faithfulness become the foundation of something unshakable. People will forget temporary moments of weakness, but they will always remember the strength of someone who never backed down. Legacy is about consistency over time, not flashes of brilliance. You can have a great workout, lift heavy one day, or push yourself past your limit once, but legacy is not built in a single day. It is the collection of days, the routine, the habits, and the relentless drive that builds something worth remembering. Legacy is what separates those who tried from those who persevered. It rewards the ones who refused to give up when progress was slow. Legacy is also the proof that pain has a purpose. Every moment of discomfort, every sore muscle, every long hour invested is transformed into something greater when it becomes part of your story. Pain without purpose fades, but pain that fuels your growth becomes a lasting reminder of your strength. The legacy you leave is not about avoiding struggle, but about proving that struggle is the birthplace of transformation. Legacy connects the gym to every other part of your life. The discipline you show in fitness reflects the discipline you carry in business, in family, and in personal growth. When you master yourself in one area, you influence all the others. Legacy is not confined to the weights you lift or the physique you build. It expands into the mindset you carry and the impact you leave wherever you go. Legacy means that long after the sweat has dried and the muscle has faded with time, the example you set continues to inspire. People may forget the numbers you lifted, but they will remember the consistency, the strength, and the fire you carried. Legacy is about building something that outlives you, a story of resilience, discipline, and growth that others can look to when they are searching for strength within themselves. At the end of the day, it's not the weights, not the pain, not the sweat that defines you. It's the promise you refuse to break. The world may never know the battles you fight in silence, but they will see the strength that comes from honoring your word. Don't stop, don't quit, don't walk away. You promised you, and that promise is worth everything.